Good evening, everyone. Welcome to session 4 of Vaesen, where we continue our little foray into our first mystery of this campaign. So, welcome back to Jim, Jared, Blake, and Sharon. Last session, you had a meeting with a gentleman by the name of Alonso Bernardis, who said his son had some issues, his behavior was different. You've done some research. It's kind of led you to some information about possessions and hauntings, and now it's the morning. So after you pulled your all-nighter, not all-nighter, your late night researching, and Lady Adelaide no doubt pulled an all-nighter.
Or not, yes.
She's
Sleep on the
probably,
train.
yes. So you leave Venice early in the morning. Carpenedo is only 10 kilometers away, but you walk through Venice to the train station, you jump on the train, you take the train across the lagoon to Mestre, and from there you hire a carriage and you make your way through the countryside. And once you leave the city of Mestre, it becomes beautiful rolling countryside. It's green, it's very verdant, forests everywhere. It's it's nice. The roads are a bit rough. They're rutted, so your carriage ride isn't the most graceful. Lady Adelaide, you think you can get some sleep? Good luck.
She still gets a bit. She's a seasoned
She's a veteran.
veteran of these types of arrangements. Yeah.
Yeah. After 90 minutes of traveling, you make it to the town of Carpenedo. And as you make it, the clouds open up and just a slow, soft rain starts to fall down. Makes the cobblestones a bit slick underfoot. Actually, it's not cobblestones here, it's compacted mud. So it's a bit slick underfoot.
I think Severino is quick to hop out and have a big stretch, and carriages.
They're not great, are they? They're just cramped and never get comfortable. You arrive at the town, and at the edge of the town, you see what you can identify as the mill. There's a house. It's 3 stories tall. It's wood and door, and you see the big water wheel at the back turning lazily. There's a stream that runs around the back of it. And inside the mill, you could hear things clanking. Yeah, so
I think Dr. Bennett will stop everyone before we actually enter the property and say that, this young man, this Matteo, he's, for all intents and purposes, our patient now. So let's just all try to be delicate, whether this issue is, supernatural or not. He is suffering, and we should, just be cautious what we say and how we say it. Butterfly wing and all that.
Oh yes, yes. How droll.
That was very particularly targeted, Lady Adelaide. The one with the hangover.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Doctor. Thank you for reminding us.
And yes, of course,
look at Lady Hartwell, shall we?
Yeah, I will yield to Miss Hartwell and her expertise.
Well then, shall we find the master of the establishment and ask for an introduction to the child? Although perhaps so many strangers at once will be a bit overwhelming for such a young lad.
Well, maybe Aggie, you and I should go and talk to the young fellow. Sometimes takes a woman's touch, and the gentleman can refresh themselves after the road, and maybe speak to the other rooms of the house.
Yes, that's a good idea. Perhaps speak to the workers and see if they have noticed anything else unusual occurring in the mill.
Yep. I'm dressed for the occasion because I'm always scruffy. So yeah, I can lead with that.
Yeah, I'll defer to you. Do we see workers roaming around, or?
They'll be inside.
Okay, yeah.
As far as I'm aware, you're still outside.
Yeah, yeah.
But yes.
Knock loudly on the door.
You don't have to, it's a shop front, so you can walk in.
The bakery. Okay, we're walking.
Yes, you can walk in. So you walk inside, and the interior is just as old as the exterior, but it's as nicely presented as it can be. The bakery itself has two really large ovens at the back of it. So it's actually quite warm and toasty in here. So you girls won the jackpot. As you walked in, you saw logs of wood outside, and Bennett and Severino would see, yeah, there's a pile of wood outside to feed the ovens. And are you boys entering as well? Or are you going to stay outside?
No, we'll talk to the workers at the mill and stuff, and
All right.
yeah.
You'll probably
Yeah.
have to go in through the front and then go to the factory. Okay, so Severino and Bennett, you also walk in and you're behind the ladies, and yeah, you look over to the left and you can see in that part of the building, which there's two buildings basically attached, tied to side. So in this other building, you see a whole lot of pulleys and cogs and wheels and beams that are moving. So it's a water-powered industrial process basically taking part. You've got your grinding wheel, you've got your sifters, and it's all the parts and componentry you need to grind wheat into flour, and then from flour to bake bread. The whole place is quite old. It's dimly lit. You've only got little tiny windows, and there's a fine dusting of flour everywhere. So as you enter, a woman looks up from behind the counter, and when she sees the two ladies walking first, she's like, okay, strangers. But when she sees all four of you, she goes, oh, you're the people from Venice. You came. Alonso would be most grateful. Come in, come out of the cold. It's horrible out there. I'm Elsa. How do you do? You're here to see Alonso, and she calls her, Alonso! Calls out to him in the other factory, and within a couple moments, he pops up and he's covered. He's got flour and soot all over him. Oh, Dr. Bennett, Lady Adelaide, and Mr. Gurini, and Miss Harkwell. Thank you for coming. You came. Thank you. Come inside, get warm. Would you like something to eat or something to drink?
That'd be lovely.
Please.
Maybe any fine breads.
Yes, we are.
What do you people do again? Bread?
The bread smells delicious. And you know what? He pulls a hot loaf that's just come out of the oven. He puts it on a chopping board, cuts sections out of it, and gets some butter. Not a evil butter churning site. And spreads some butter on it, and it all melts. And here, have some, please.
Is a good Italian coffee anachronistic at this point, or is that?
No, it
Option.
certainly exists.
Yeah.
Probably not so
Certainly
much.
have.
Yeah. If you want coffee, he'll make you a coffee.
Great. Definitely.
If I screwed up with the timelines, I'm sure the locals will forgive me for that error.
So I'd like to see the factory, have a look around at the mill, if that's all right.
See, please help yourself. Just
Man, Severino straight down to business as always.
Yeah. Yeah, don't
Just-
worry, we're leaving you in the good hands of the ladies here.
please just be careful. The belts and the cogs are very dangerous, and make sure you don't get caught, please.
That's right. Thank you for the warning. Just wondering how I feel here.
Okay, fine. Not a problem.
Good.
Nothing funky at all.
Good.
Nothing funky at all. Okay, so Dr. Bennett and Severino, you walk into the big factory area. What do you do?
Is it noisy, or is it?
It's quite noisy. You've got wood just constantly banging on each other, and you've got quernstones grinding away. So it is quite a noisy process. It's not a battering ram noisy, but it is noisy.
I'm think I'm looking for like physical stuff like frost or burn marks, or you said there's flour everywhere, so it's an area that doesn't have flour. Just like CSI physical evidence of stuff that's unusual or odd.
Yeah. Do you want to give me a vigilance roll, please?
Oh,
2 successes. Yeah, so the great thing about finding things that are out of place, you usually see them immediately because your brain goes, hang on, that's not right, and you focus straight on it. But you can't find anything. Like, the flour seems to be evenly coated on everything. Yes, there's a little bit more here because it hasn't been cleaned off as much as up, but it seems to be fairly uniform. There's no strange stalactite burn patterns. There's no frost marks. There's no weird, woojy, runic inscriptions or anything like that. So despite you having a cracking good look, and you did have a cracking good look, you didn't find anything.
So what's
No.
odd is there's nothing odd.
There's
Okay.
nothing odd.
I find that odd, but okay. And I'll say to the doctor, yeah, there's nothing unusual here, which is unusual.
well, perhaps this is all just something of a misunderstanding. Though I don't know what exactly, and he'll like run a finger along some flour and look at it and go, "Don't exactly what we would be looking for to be out of the ordinary." Replace this flour with muck and ash, and it reminds me of my childhood slightly. But yes, perhaps excuse me, and I'll like call out to someone probably doing something very important that shouldn't be distracted at that exact moment in time.
No, that's perfectly fine. You see 2 male workers. They're both in their 20s. They're young, and they see you and lift up their hand in acknowledgement. And once they finish emptying the sack of flour into the hopper, they'll walk over to you. Good afternoon. Sorry, good morning. It is morning.
Morning. I'm not sure if Mr. Bernadis informed you that we would be coming.
Yes, he said there was a doctor coming about Matteo.
Yes.
Poor
Yes,
lad.
Yes, quite. We were just wondering what your opinion on this situation was, and what has been happening to young Matteo. What you've seen.
He was a good boy. He was a good lad. He's only 5, but he worked harder than any of us. He was very diligent with sweeping the floors and helping his papa with the wood and carrying things around. He was a good boy. I don't know, just a few weeks ago, just soured badly. It's almost like someone gave him the evil eye or something. I don't know. Something happened. But he doesn't spend time in the mill anymore. He's always out in the stream, or always up in his room or something, or in the barn. He just never helps us anymore. He's not interested. He doesn't want to go to school. It's sad.
Did anything happen a few weeks ago? Like, did he like burn his hand, or like, was it his birthday, or did he meet another child or something? Anything?
No, we did attend a local market 2 months ago. It seemed okay. But
When you say we attended, as in who attended?
Alonso, myself, and Guido here. All 3 of us attended. It was a major market, so good chance for us to sell some bread, but also to acquire flour. Wheat
And
for grinding.
Did you get flour from this market?
Of course. Of course. It's where we buy a lot of our contracts for the harvest year ahead.
Would you mind if I do you have any of this flour available? Could I have a quick look at it?
See, no problemi. Come with me, and he'll take you into a rear storage shed, and there's just sack upon sack upon sack. It's like a wall of unground wheat. Yes, this is what we got.
Okay. Can I study the wheat? Does it seem
Give me an
unusual?
investigation roll. And also give me a learning roll, please.
Okay.
Nice. Nice. Okay. So you have a little pocket knife and you kind of cut open a bag and you look at the wheat and it looks nice and clean. There's a bit of dust on it. That's quite normal. You pick it up and you smell it, and it's that sweet, grassy, wholesome. And you know through your own medical training, this isn't bad. It's not rotten wheat, and it doesn't have ergot, which, and you will know this, ergot poisoning is a fungal disease that can be found on wet wheat, and it can cause mass hallucinations and psychosis amongst affected peoples. And there has been outbreaks of ergot disease in history for a very long time. And I think by this stage, it's been recognized. I don't think it's unknown. But
And
no,
it's
the wheat
not
looks,
there.
it's not that.
Okay.
But you're confident. You look at this wheat and it looks good quality. It's what we would call organic these days. It's good stuff. It looks benign, totally benign to your learned eye.
And I like from my kneeling position, I'll sort of turn back and say, and nothing else was purchased by yourselves or Alonso, anything?
Well, there was one thing. Alonso just bought a toy for Mateo. There's a peddler there.
Well, I'm sure it's harmless, so I won't even write it down.
So-
Wait, what sort of toy?
A doll. Bambala. Just a little wooden toy.
Does he still have it, or?
Yes. Yes, Mateo carries the damn thing with him everywhere.
Hmm. Okay, thank you.
So,
Would there be this market? Like I assume it sort of comes together and then disperses, sort of thing. So
Yeah.
you would have no idea where this where this toy merchant would have gone.
no, but he did say he was heading to Venice to make a votive statue for Carnevale, but that's still several months away. He just travels. I've never seen him before. I haven't seen him since. He's just a traveling peddler.
And I'll just ask what behavior, other than self-isolation and a sour mood, have you noticed in Mateo? Anything
Honest-
that he said in particular, or
Not that I've seen or heard, but I'm always in the factory here. It's hard. I don't see him all the time, especially not now. Maybe his parents might have a better idea.
and the barn that you mentioned that he spends a lot of time at. I assume I have seen this barn, or have I not seen this barn yet?
It's behind the building here. It runs alongside the creek.
You wouldn't mind if I had a look around there as well?
Mateo will probably be there because it is raining. They're probably in there somewhere.
Okay. That's all my questions, I think.
Very good. And if you've got nothing, Severino,
No, we'll head back, try to see if there's any bread left.
good plan. So yeah, Lady Adelaide, Miss Hartwell. You are in the bakery, in the kitchen, actually, behind the bakery.
Is Elsa his mother?
Elsa's his mother.
Has anything else occurred that may have upset Matteo, do you know?
No, Signora, everything's the way it has been since Matteo was born. Before he was born, we get up, we start the fires, we work the mill, we make the bread, we sell the bread and clean up, and we do it all again the next day. Except for Sundays. Sundays we stop and go to church.
Well, perhaps we can talk to your son.
You want to speak to Matteo? Of course you do. He'll be in the barn. Shall I go fetch him?
That would be fantastic.
Perhaps we should go and meet the child on his own.
Yeah, meet him
um,
there.
Such as it is, where he is comfortable.
Okay. Yes, of course. So, Elsa gets up and smooths down her apron and skirts, and you follow me, please. And she'll take you through the back of the house. And as you walk through the house, you see that there's a staircase leading upstairs, and you kind of instinctively know that's where the family lives and sleeps. And she'll take you out the back of the house across a small yard, and there is a barn with, big barn doors, and you walk in. There's a cobbled floor. There's stalls for some animals, although they're empty at the moment. And there's a hayloft above it. And she'll look up there, and yeah, it's usually up there. Matteo! Matteo! And she calls out to him. And you get a very sullen, "What?"
I think Adelaide would climb up the ladder and kind of, using her youthful wile, say, "Hello there, Matteo. Are you there, dear? I've come to say hello."
You actually climb the ladder to
Yeah,
the
climb the
top of
ladder.
the loft?
Yeah. My name's Addie. I've come to visit you. I sort of climb up and sort of just sit on the edge. We've come to say hello. I've heard you've been in a bad way.
There's a mound of hay that's kind of stooped up in a corner, and it's loose hay, and you can hear it rustle, and this little head pops up above the hay line, and he looks at you.
And I'll sort of play at a kind of hide and seek almost, like see if we can get him to play.
You kind of will see his eyes narrow slightly, and he goes, "Go away," and he turns and
Oh,
Sits-
Matteo, your papa's and your mama are so worried about you. They've asked us to come and speak to you. You're not your usual self.
"Don't want to talk to you." And while Lady
I
Adelaide,
understand.
he's locked in this battle of wits with a 5-year-old. Severino and Dr. Bennett, you walk into the barn as well. Elsa kind of looks up. "Matteo, come down here, please." And she's got her voice has that tone of, "Don't mess with me, kid."
I have a look around the barn just to make sure there's nothing obviously weird there.
Give me a vigilance. 2 successes. Just like in the main room, there's nothing out of place. Everything's as you would expect it. I'm sorry. There are things to find, just not here.
Okay.
And Elsa stamps her foot on the ground. She's very fast losing patience with her little errant child.
Adelaide's still trying to be really kind of gentle about it and sort of just suggest, look, we're here and we really understand we're people that have experience with maybe seeing imaginary things, imaginary friends, or scary monsters, maybe. Anything weird, we can help with that. We understand.
The hay rustles again and those eyes peer out. Got his interest.
She said, when I was a little girl, I used to see I started seeing all sorts of strange little creatures and, go through some of the, things I've seen. I wonder if you've seen anything like that.
No, I don't see anything. Here.
Yeah. Yeah, interesting. What do you hear, Matteo? Tell me, dear, what do you hear?
Horrible things.
Oh.
And I can't get them to stop.
Sounds terrifying, you poor darling. What do they say? What do these mean monsters say to you?
That I'm a naughty boy. I will never grow up so my parents will be proud of me. I am worthless. And I keep telling it it's not true. But it keeps
Terrible.
telling me these things.
What is it? What's telling you this thing? Like, where does it come from?
Mama! Mama! And he almost bursts into tears.
Oh, you poor dear. Your mum is just down here. Come on down. She'll give you a cuddle.
I can't calm down while you're on the ladder.
Yeah, get out of the way. I'll up down the ladder. course.
It could make you get off the ladder, but
No,
that'd be
I'll get
nice.
him out of his way. I'll get out of his way for sure.
Yeah. So he'll follow you down the ladder. It's awkward because he's got this little wooden doll tucked under his shoulder as he's trying to climb down a ladder and not fall down. And as he reaches the ground, he goes and pretty much runs behind his mum and hides behind her skirts.
I pay particular attention to the doll as it goes past. What do I see as he races past?
Ooh, doll. All right. You look at the doll, and it's like a wooden articulated doll. You know those sculpted dolls that you see quite frequently in art stores to help people sculpt movement? It's that sort of thing, but it's clothed. It looks like a little articulated wooden boy.
So sort of, but not like the traditional Italian Pinocchio.
No, like it doesn't have the nose,
No,
and it's not a marionette, but
it's
you
kind
know.
of not got a face. Like, is it kind of?
It's got a face. No, it's got a face. From that brief second, you can see it's got hair, it's got facial features, it's got clothes on it. So it looks like a pretty well-made toy. Sort of toy that you would have expected in your, your toy box as a child.
I feel like as whatever I can remember of it, I'll try and research later on, like if it's a, particular kind of doll.
Yep.
Yep.
Did we hear the conversation between Adelaide and Matteo?
You would have heard 80% of it. You might have lost a few words here and there, but you would have got most of it.
So when he's hiding behind his mother, Miss Hartwell will bend down on one knee and say, "Your mama and your papa are very, very proud of you, and they always will be. That's why they're so worried."
He looks at you from behind her skirts. Like, you can see that he's horribly shy, and you're 4 strangers in his space. So,
Did I notice the doll?
did you?
Well, I feel like Adelaide, after coming down after seeing it, might go, "I wonder who this is that you've got with you. Who's this little friend you've got? What's their name?" Referring to the doll.
Well, you see that Matteo's got like a white knuckle grip on that doll. He is not letting it go at all.
No, I'm not trying to get. I'm just asking him about it. Like, who's your doll? What might their name be? The way children can talk about their teddy bear or their.
Yeah. That's
Special,
fair.
special object as though it's a real person.
He just kind of shrugs. It's La Bambala. It's just the
La
doll.
Bambala.
Yep, the doll.
That's
It
the
just
name.
means the doll.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm,
The doll.
the
So,
doll.
and I'll say to the mother, so the doll's a present from Matea's father on the markets about 2 months ago,
See? Yes. Yes, it is.
and he never puts it down.
No, it doesn't. Actually, it's quite weird. He's sleeps with it. It's always with him.
I'll loudly,
Mateo, these people are here to help you. You need to talk to them. And Mateo kind of, you hear him sniffling. All he does is quietly fidgets, under your scrutiny. And
Just say he's probably feeling rather overwhelmed us all standing around. I wonder if he might like to come and have a cake or something, and we can kind of, sit and get to know you all a bit better. Take the pressure off him being quizzed by more people.
cake. Cake would be nice. Yes, cake would be nice. And he nods. Mama, can I have some cake, please? Yeah. Does it?
Have they got cannolis at this bakery, or is that sort of not that?
It's not that sort of bakery. She's like, this
Sadly.
woman's put me into a position where I have to have cake all of a sudden. She goes, let's see what's in the pantry. Come on inside. Mateo will run off into the rain and into the back of the house.
right, now I'm going to go up the ladder and look around where he was and just see if there's anything there.
I'll spare you the humiliation.
It's all right.
No.
Just doing my due diligence,
Just-
just making sure.
And I love it. No, there's nothing there. You're quite thorough. You have a poke around in the hay. You have a, you have a look.
Knock over the latrine bucket or something.
But nope, sorry, there is nothing to be found there either.
In the spirit of not ambushing this child with 4 strangers, I assume it's still somewhat raining, but that doesn't really bother me too much. I might go have a look at the creek.
Sure. So you go down to the creek, and it's a small water course. It's, I don't know, maybe a meter wide at most. It's quite a deep. There's been a channel cut into the ditch or cut into the riverbank, and along it you see a massive water wheel that's turning, which then drives all the machinery inside. Yeah, it's lush, it's green, it's verdant. You've got weeds and plants growing up to the north and to the south of the water wheel itself.
Yeah, I think Dr. Bennett sort of kneels down at the water, and he's just sort of he just sort of looks down at the water and sees his reflection with the raindrops dispersing it, and the Mateo's voice sort of echoes, this you'll never grow up, and your parents, you never make your parents proud, and that last bit really echoes with him before he just sort of like takes a deep breath, stands up and sort of steps away. I guess I don't see an obvious spot that looks like, oh, this is where Mateo maybe hangs out here. He's not got a little spot, a little burrow that he's...
Give me a vigilance. Let's see how you go. No successes.
Could I push this just because it seems like a good...
You can push it. 2 successes. Fantastic. So yeah, next to, not too far from the water wheel, maybe about 10 meters from the water wheel itself, there's, on the downstream side of it, the vegetation is more a grassy embankment, and you can see that there's a rock there, and at the base of the rock there's The grass has been worn away. It's almost like where feet have been scuffing the grass. You know, kid sits on a rock, scuffs his feet on the grass. There's a pile of rocks. It's been throwing into the stream.
Okay. But nothing, I suppose, suspicious or unusual
No.
there. No. All right.
No.
Yeah, I will head back. So how does that work? Do I get a mental? Do I get a condition now?
Yes, you get a condition.
To-
I think it's mental too, which means you have to take a mental condition. And it can be whichever one you wish.
Let's go with hopeless. That's close enough.
That's close enough. All right.
Feeling good and hopeless.
Yeah. Yes, because despite all your searching, you haven't found what you're looking for. But you know it's there. It's there somewhere.
Yeah, and then I'll head back towards the kitchen.
Yep. So in the kitchen, the other three of you are sitting around a table. We don't have cake, but we do have some almond biscuits. And
Biscotti.
biscotti. That's it.
If we need some tea or something with those, they're quite a dry
Yeah.
biscuit, aren't they?
They are a dry biscuit. Oh God, they're so moorish. Can't stop eating them. They're dangerous. So yes, Matteo is just sitting down in his chair and just kind of slunched, but every now and then he kind of sneaks forward for a biscuit and nibbles away at it. And he looks at you. There's absolute suspicion in his eyes. And Elsa just kind of long-suffering sigh. This isn't my boy. I don't know, but this isn't the boy that I knew 2 months ago.
So when I do come in, if I can get get close enough to him, but otherwise I'll do it from afar. But I wouldn't mind just giving him a bit of like a once over. Does he look, malnourished or any other obvious signs of any kind of sickness or
Alright.
wounds? Not wounds per se, but scratches or anything like that.
Give me
Bruises.
medicine roll then.
Okay.
Do you ask if you can examine him?
Yes, I will. I'll sort of step forward with the sort of bag out and say, probably to Elsa first. Like, would you mind if I had to give him a quick look?
Of course. I can answer any questions you may have, but yes, Matteo. Behave yourself. Let the doctor look at you.
Yeah, and then I'll do some perfunctory what do you call it? Like childlike, making them feel slightly more comfortable, but it's not his strong suit, to be honest. But he does some lip service for it.
You are a Harley Street doctor. Why not? 2 successes. So you conduct a clinical examination to the best of your ability. And you're looking him over very carefully. And as you see things, you're asking his mother questions. You're asking Elsa. So you can see that he looks exhausted. He's got the rings under his eyes. His skin's very shallow. He's exhausted, hasn't been sleeping well. But his body is anxious and tense. Like you could see the energy just thrumming off him. Do you make inquiries about his sleeping patterns to his mother, or you just...
I think I'd actually direct all my questions to Matteo, but I would obviously allow Elsa to answer. So I would say, have you been having issues sleeping, nightmares?
And he kind of looks at you, nods. And Elsa looks at... He wakes up maybe every 2 or 3 hours at night. Sometimes wakes up screaming. But he won't tell us. He can't or won't tell us what he was dreaming of. And he even wets the bed. And he's not done that in years.
Oh, there's no shame in that. It's perfectly normal. Do you think, Mateo, that you could tell me anything about your dreams?
They're just horrible. They're not nice. I don't want to sleep.
Is it the same dream, or is there the same bad thing in each dream?
It's always bad things in the dreams, always bad words and bad feelings, and I don't want to sleep. And Dr. Bennett, you also noticed that this kid's probably a little bit underweight for what you would expect of a child, so he's off his food.
And I'll ask him that. Are you eating? I'll look to Elsa. Is he? Does he eat what he's given?
He picks like a sparrow. But he'll wolf these down. Kids. But she goes, he's not eating like he should be. And because you rolled an extra success, Dr. Bennett, you too noticed that white knuckle grip on the doll. But you also notice that every now and then his eyes will flick towards it. Just a flicker, but every now and then you'll see it.
Tell you, these voices that you hear, do you think that they have a source? Do you hear them from somewhere?
In my head.
And I'll look to Elsa, like, just in preparation for the weirdness of what this question is going to sound like to her.
Oh, this is going to be good.
And this, your doll never speaks to you?
He looks at you and it doesn't speak. Of course not. How could a doll speak?
Oh, I've had plenty of dolls, creatures, animals, all kinds of crazy things have spoken to me. It's, as I say, it's perfectly natural, perfectly normal for a smart, smart young man such as yourself.
Can I get everyone to give me a vigilance check, please?
Something behind me.
Severino, you miss out. Oh my goodness.
Ugh.
All right, hang on. Let's see. Bennett, you miss out. Adelaide gets 1 success. Agatha, you get 0 successes. And Severino, you get 0 successes. Awesome. So, Lady Adelaide, you see the doll's eyes move. Again, it just flickers,
I'm glad I didn't see it.
but they moved. And as you make eye contact with that doll, even for that fleeting moment, you feel something cold and dark skitter in the back of your mind. And you get a shiver that bolts down your spine.
I sort of just try and stare it down for as long as I can.
Oh, that eye contact is just, that's
Alright.
it.
I'm onto this doll though. Yeah. It's definitely the doll. We've nailed it already. But all right, I'll just keep that to myself for now.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, no, I'm going to say to him, Mateo, could I have a hold of your doll? Just to see what he does. It's a charming doll, isn't he?
He grabs a doll and tucks it to his chest. No.
Oh, well, fair enough.
Could we trade, Mateo? We have many, fun and interesting
No.
toys.
No. No, 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 no. And he bolts out that door. You can't have it. You can't have the doll.
Too forceful, Doctor. You need to take time with children.
Children are not my specialty.
I'll follow him so I can keep him in line of sight.
Oh, he goes carrying off. There's a path down by the river, so he just
Yeah.
goes.
If he stops, I'll stop. I don't want to scare him. I just want to keep him,
Yeah.
sight.
I feel like, well, now that he's left, I'll ask. Also, have you ever managed? Has that doll been left his side since this business began? Ever had it out of his hands?
No.
Have you ever been concerned about it at all?
Never. It's a doll. His father bought him the doll as a gift, as a thank you, because he's been such a good boy. I mean, we thought he loved it. That's why he always had it with him. He thought.
Well, sometimes certain items can carry dark contamination. I wonder what if we were to get it off him, we might see things improve.
You should speak to your husband about where he
Bought the doll, yeah.
put the doll.
Yes, quite. This toy maker that he ran into at the market.
Of course. Alonso's just in the mill.
Yeah. In the meantime, don't do anything rash with this doll. We need to remove it carefully. I wouldn't want you to sort of hurry to make any changes and make anything worse.
Alonso, she calls out to him. Vieni, quick, come here. And yeah, Alonso walks back in from the mill. Goes, can I help you? But we're going to pause it there because it's almost 10:30, and I think that's actually a good little cliffhanger. Where to stick it? You guys are narrowing in, which is awesome. So thank you again to Sharon, Blake, Jared, and Jim. We will see you next session to see where the trail leads. But thank you so much, guys, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
You are narrowing in.
Chucky.
Yes. Kind of. So yes, I unleashed Chucky on you lot. You're very welcome. So yeah, I hope everyone